Welcome to Beers and Brawls, the show where my guests and I drink beer and talk all things wrestling. I'm your host Jared, and joining me on tonight's show is a wrestler that you've seen flipping all over ACW, RCW and PWSA. He's the masked superstar, Kit Condor. Kit, thank you for joining me on today's show.
Thank you so much for having me here. Very keen.
Awesome, man. So how's things going? Like, obviously, everything's a bit shit at the moment, lockdowns and everything else, but how are you keeping up training or what's going on?
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough for everyone. Definitely has. Best thing we can do in a situation like this is make the best of it, especially making the best of our health decisions. At a time like this, it's so easy to get complacent, absolutely just couch potato. Yeah. Just been keeping on my home workouts, which are so important. You don't need a gym to have a gym.
Yeah, for sure.
I do most of my workouts without actually using weights.
Around the place so you can use a
lots of cardio
or something like that.
And just trying to keep up with eating good and making something positive out of such a terrible time.
Yeah, for sure. And how do you feel having to wear two masks when you go out and out in public?
It is, admittedly a little bit difficult, especially since I don't have ears here. So it's sort of like it's very
pull that down a bit more and get away with it, or
I mean, I was getting weird looks walking down the street in a purple mask already, and now it's now I just look like a rejected Mortal Kombat character.
The gross is thinking about to rob them or something like that. Put a hoodie on and in your set.
With the glasses as well. I like to do glasses with a mask, with a hood on.
I like it. Well, admittedly, I put a beanie on, a hoodie and a mask, and
you get some funny
weird looks. Shit, what's going on here? But unfortunately, people can use that as an excuse to do bad things, which is not good. But anyway, really happy that you come on the show today. So to welcome you, doing a nice little shot of whiskey here.
For sure.
They still haven't sponsored me, so if you want to, tell them I do. Just don't sue me, but just they're over in America. They don't care about me.
Not even shopping local. That's how you get your sponsorship. You need to find somewhere in Adelaide.
Got it, yeah.
If anywhere in Adelaide that makes any bourbons want to sponsor the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me up.
Keep it close to home.
Slide in the DMs.
Alright,
thank you.
Oh, that is nice actually. I haven't had that before.
No, it's smooth. It's really good. That's why it's good to have shot on the show. We've had some, as Brandon Black would know, we've had some weird stuff on the show, a bit of rum that really burnt, put us down for a bit, so got to get something a bit smoother, nicer for the guests and nicer for myself, so I can actually still talk and run the show. So, alright, so we're going to get into questions now.
Yep.
So it's 10 and 5, 5 minutes, 10 questions, just some rapid fire.
Sweet.
Are you ready?
Yeah, for sure. Hit me with them.
Alright, man. So let me just get my timer up. Kit, are you ready?
I think so. I'm a bit worried about the idea of 10 questions taking 5 whole minutes, so I'm very curious. So
it goes fast, trust me, it goes fast.
Alrighty.
Alright, first question is, who are you? What's your gimmick, what's your backstory? What's the idea behind Kit Condor?
Pretty much the idea, I try and keep it as, and it's gonna sound weird, I try and keep it as genuine to me as possible.
Yeah.
I don't like to put on a facade. If I like you, you're going to know. If I don't like you, you're gonna know. I'm not gonna bite my tongue or say what I need to say to fit in with anyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be me. And it just so happens that who I am is an insanely energetic, very flippy, athletic person.
Yeah.
So rather than kind of sugarcoating that, that's just who I am. I love doing parkour and any sort of acrobatic stuff like that. So wrestling was just a perfect transition for that. So that's who I am.
Yeah, we can see that in the ring, definitely. When did you start wrestling?
So I started wrestling, my debut was right at the end of 2018.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, I can't believe, looking back now, how it feels like I'm still just 1 foot in the door. Like, it feels like I've just gotten into it. I still kind of meet people who have been around for ages and feel like a rookie, but it's weird to think that I'm not anymore.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's gone very quick. Favorite wrestler and why?
Oh, that is actually a very difficult question. I don't like the idea of having a favorite wrestler. I always have them in categories. Like, for example, the wrestler that I personally think is the best wrestler in the world is not necessarily my favorite. I judge everything on such different criteria. I would say, in my opinion, the best wrestler in the world is AJ Styles. And I have several different reasons for believing that, but I won't bore you with that right now.
No, well, but I'd waste your time because we're running low.
Favorite wrestler, John Morrison.
Nice. Okay.
Across all time.
Alright, sweet. Good choice. Good choice. Which famous wrestling catchphrase would you like to be yours?
Ooh. Damn, that is actually like a much harder question than I'd expect it to be.
It's a little curveball before we get to the funny stuff.
I would love to be able to have the catchphrase of the New Day coming out to the ring. Yeah. Something like that. Just being able to get the crowd hyped up with just a microphone like...
Before they even see you.
Oh, Riot City! Don't you dare be sour! Something like that. And just being able to get the crowd off of their chairs before you've even come through the curtain would be incredible. Something like that.
I think you're stealing Informer Andy's...
I'll get him to do that for me.
Exactly. Which wrestler in Australian wrestling would you challenge for a drinking competition?
Oh, I would love to take on Royce Chambers and that dirty mullet. I would love that more than anything.
I like it,
He is probably my favourite thing happening in Australian wrestling, and good. I reckon he is the type of person who would be really good at holding his alcohol. And if he ever wanted to come on, I'd be more than happy to go for drink with him.
Alright, I reckon we might have to do a special episode, drinking competition. What's your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
Oh, I had a... God, I don't know how specific I get, because once I say it, you're going to be able to look that up online and find it.
If it's online, it's online.
I attempted to take a risk in a match, went for a springboard 450, missed my footing on the 450 part, and as I've stepped onto the top rope, 1 foot has slipped out, and I've basically not been able to get the momentum to make a 450 off of the jump, so it ended up turning into a front flip springboard double leg drop rather than making the 450 rotation.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad, and then I just had to do my best to cover it and get back up to the top and hit a proper 450 the second time.
Oh my god, alright, we'll have to watch that later. What are your wrestling goals? You got 30
Take a belt home. That's plain and simple. Or to get into state. That is probably the next thing on my goal, to get anywhere out of SA.
Well, hopefully when the borders open and the states aren't so fucked. Who would you wrestle drunk?
Oh.
Both drunk, going at it.
If I want to win? Maybe.
Yeah, if you want to win. Doesn't matter if you want to win or have a good time, whichever one.
I'd love to see Down Under drunk. I reckon he would be great to wrestle drunk, because half the time I question whether or not he is already. I'd really like to see him.
He's a menace, trust me. That's our timer. But yes, as fans of the show would know, episode 1, Down Under drunk is an interesting time. So good luck with that one. Hopefully you don't get too hurt or no one gets hurt, but it'll be an interesting one. A quick one I just want to chuck in that we didn't get to was who's your dream opponent in Australian wrestling at the moment?
See, like I was saying about Royce Chambers being my favourite, I would say him, but I've actually wrestled him once before, and it was an incredible opportunity. That is still at the top of my list of I really
How long ago did you wrestle?
Oh god, this would have been, it was definitely pre-COVID. It would have been about 2020, because I was only about a year in.
Okay.
Maybe just a little bit over a year into wrestling.
So if you say, take that and then wrestle him in, say, a year or two's time after 3 years experience.
Something like that would be incredible, like take where I was then and be able to compare it, because I really did feel like that really pushed me to a next level, really getting to see, like, instead of wrestling all of these people that I'm so used to, you know, training with. Now all of a sudden I'm pushing myself to wrestling someone who I'm not used to how they are like in a ring. So being able to like really compare that and see how far I've progressed since that last time would be incredible. So I'd probably say that.
Yeah, and what a great opponent for in Royce as well. So awesome, man. So that brings us to the end of the questions. Thank you for those. Some really good answers there, and I can't wait to see you and Royce wrestle and then have a drinking competition straight after.
In the ring,
when you're both fatigued. We'll I'll book you guys here and we'll do it here. And we'll have some fun with that. Maybe we'll have a round robin tournament. We'll get everyone, all the beers and brawls guests, and we'll have a bit of a drink competition.
Line up all the shots.
But as long as Down Under doesn't hurt anyone, we should be fine. But awesome, man. Thank you for answering those. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some photos from your career. Starting from the start, moving up to now. We're just going to have a bit of a chat about them and go from there.
Let's do it.
Alright, Kit, are you ready for these photos?
I reckon I am. Let's give it a go.
So everyone at home is going to see the photos. They'll see us as well. So we're just going to have a chat about each one. Whatever's happening in the photo, just explain. And yeah, we'll go from there. So the first one up is this one here of you just chilling up on the top rope there.
I do really like that photo. I reckon to this day it is still my profile picture on pretty much all of my social media, I reckon.
There you go. One question, why are you wearing a Pariah t-shirt? What's the go?
You are the first person who has ever picked up on that.
Really?
So at the time, this was my first ever main show match.
Is that
was at Latvian Hall, yeah. So yeah, this was about, I'd only had about 2 matches at this point. Those were like live show matches at the academy. And going into this match, it was a 6-man tag. It wasn't. It was a 8-man tag. It was myself, the Pariah. Obviously, must have been a long time ago.
Friends at the moment.
the crowd was so hot for the Pariah at that point. And it was myself, the Pariah, and Sadakone.
Well, I haven't seen him for so long.
This was actually his last match.
Oh wow.
That was his last ever match before he left.
Wow.
But yeah, so we all came out wearing Pariah shirts as a show of like solidarity across all of us. And this was during the Pariah's entrance where they just had all of their like rave lights going and all of their different colours. I jumped to the top rope doing my kind of bird perch on the top rope, and I didn't even notice that there were any photos being taken at the time.
Nice.
Happy accident, the photos went up, and somehow not only did they get me sitting on the top rope perfectly in frame, they happened to snatch the photo right as the purple light was glaring down at me. There is no filter on that. That is actually
the purple in the background there.
That is the raw lighting that they hit me with.
Nice.
And when I saw that photo, I was absolutely in love with it. So despite the fact that I'm wearing a Pariah shirt, I've never changed it to this day because I love that photo and I don't see myself getting another more perfect photo.
Well, you never know.
Anytime.
That's like you said, you don't know where the photographers are.
Yeah.
So photo could come at any time. Next one we've got here is Kurt Barron and yourself just hanging off him there. What's going on?
This is my debut match. My first ever match at the academy. Kurt Barron, Jesus. I cannot believe my first
Where is
match.
that guy going? Far out.
Oh my god. Like sort of right before I debuted, Kurt Barron was like I was loving everything that he was doing. And then I got told that I was going to be working in my first ever match. And I was kind of like, oh god, this guy's like, give it a little bit of time and he's going to be going for the big belt. Like 100%. This guy's going like, and he's just been doing like, his character is just incredible. His
so
athleticism,
big,
his athleticism is
big,
incredible.
athletic.
So I was a little bit terrified, but extremely, extremely excited. And then yeah, it was like an incredible opportunity. Like, how better to break your way in than to work someone like him
who's on the way up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It was so much fun.
I think this photo is this the photo from that
This
match?
is directly after that match, yes. So, upset victory. Little baby me, who has one tattoo at the time. And got
those bands.
Yeah, got the armbands in that photo, but other than that, I was completely like clean of tattoos at the time, and every time I looked at a photo, I reckon I was just like, I just look so bare. Like I need to wear something else. I had the wrist tape, and that was it. And then ever since, I've just been like constantly adding more tattoos to the other arm. So this one at least doesn't look so bare. Like this one had a little bit of something. That's fine. Let's work on this arm now. So it's all accessories.
If you want to go into it, what's with the band?
So the armbands were my first ever tattoo.
Yeah.
It is the same tattoo that Tyler Joseph, the lead singer of 21 Pilots, has on his arm amongst a bunch of other ones. But this arm tattoo has always kind of stood out to me. It's sort of like one of those things, when I kind of pre-wrestling, I was in a very bad place, which I think we've all been at a certain time in our life, especially kind of moving that transition out of high school into becoming an adult, not knowing what you want to do with your life. And at this point, I didn't have wrestling for that. And it really gave me like, sort of like when I needed someone to kind of be like, hey, I understand how you're feeling, that feeling of like loneliness and you know, that kind of hopelessness. I really just needed someone to be like, hey, I understand that, I validate the way that you're feeling, and you know, it's okay to feel like that, not to be like, don't think like that. More so, it's okay to feel like that. We're gonna be with you along for the ride. Just stay with us, pretty much. And I absolutely adored that message. It got me through so much, and it kind of gave me the courage to kind of go, maybe coming into being an adult, I don't need to be looking at how I can get by in the world. Maybe I need to actually go out there and look at what I want to do and how I can create the future for myself that I want to be in. And then that gave me the kind of courage to go out and go, being a wrestler was my kind of childhood dream. What if I could make that happen? And I don't think that would have happened without having something like that message, to kind of like keep me going. So I always kind of felt like, you know, Tyler Joseph, he has his own meaning for why he got his tattoo. But for me, this is more in tribute to him. And I got it because it means something to me because of him.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome. That's really good, man. I like that. Next one is a throwback to the first one.
Yes, yes, and that is me and the Perea, and you can see
Sad's right behind there somewhere.
It's really hard to see. You can barely even see that he's there because he's perfectly
the belt around
he's perfectly in the shape of Eli as well. So yeah, you almost can't even tell that he's there other than that one arm. But yeah,
it's bloody
fun fact though, I do actually own that Perea shirt. That
wasn't just a line.
That was not a prop that they gave me to wear.
They must have been nice that day.
I mean, it was at the time, it was hard to not like get behind them. Like they're
tag team champs.
Yeah, they like just had so much charisma and they so much energy, and especially someone like me, I really I clung to that. I saw the amount of energy and how they got the crowd behind them, and I was like, that is amazing. That is what I want to kind of be. I want to be able to convey that myself. So I really did enjoy their sort of early stuff before. Now they're, you know, going around torturing the entire RCW locker room.
TD and Rocky in their ears, telling them all this shit.
But yeah.
Next one here, you kicking James Cray by the look of that?
Yes, that was in Mount Gambier.
God, hang time on that.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Pele kick has always been one of my favorite moves. Coming back again to my earlier mention about AJ Styles, in my opinion, being one of the best wrestlers in the world. The Pele kick has always been a move that I've always been like, God, you can kick someone in the head, but how many ways can you kick someone in the head?
Exactly. And to make it look flashy like that, hanging
getting that sort of flip in there as well, which I'm a very big fan of my flips.
Yes, I've watched your work. I've seen you flipping everywhere. So
but that match, it kind of seems like, oh, this is another kind of match. Mount Gambier for the New Year's show every year for RCW, we would go there and we would wrestle maybe, I reckon about 4 or 5 matches in a single day at that festival. Nice. And this match in particular, I will never ever forget because it is the match where at the end of it, I hit a 450 onto James Cray, as I do at the end of a lot of my matches. However, something that doesn't usually happen, I copped a knuckle to the sternum because as I've hit the 450, I don't know if this was intentional or not, Cray had a closed fist over his stomach. So as I have not noticed this and 450 splashed onto him, I've copped the hardest knuckle straight into my sternum, which has instantly knocked all of the wind out of me.
Well, and James Craig back in those days was a bit of a prick, so maybe that was intentional. Maybe that was. You never know. Another one here from Gambia, I reckon.
Yes, that is. The only time I've wrestled outdoors. Oh, wait, other than Glenelg. Mount Gambier. Can always usually tell by the red the red tape around the side. Yeah, wrestling nice Dean Brady. Dean Brady is another person.
Gear as well.
I will say, on record, Dean Brady is another one of those people like Kurt Barron that legitimately is going places. Yeah. Incredible. At the moment, he's
weird at the moment.
He's going through some stuff.
He's sorting out some shit.
But
he's beating up his sister. He's wearing hippie pants.
Yeah, a little bit of fat fall going on there.
It's a bit weird at the moment.
But no, he is definitely someone who is, has a great physique when he's trying to. Has an incredible moveset, an incredible look about him, and I've always really enjoyed his stuff. So getting to work him even in somewhere like Gambia was incredible. I always have so much fun working with someone like Dean Brady. Even when I'm getting thrown around, it's so much. The idea that I reckon at one point in this match, I got just thrown across the ring because he's a very strong lad.
He's a beast.
And as he has just thrown me across the ring, I flipped myself to my feet and landed it. And the crowd went absolutely ballistic for it. Nice. It was like nothing else.
I haven't seen that
just
shit.
Getting absolutely thrown and the whole crowd being like, oh, he's dead. And then, just flipping out of it, landing on my feet, and then having that moment of
well,
what just happened?
All they see is their meth pipes down there. So sorry, Gambia. Sorry, Jet Armstrong.
I've had nothing but great experiences in Mount Gambier as a disclaimer.
Next one here, Tony Toro getting squashed by you. That HQ?
Yeah, so that was HQ. That is one of my favourite venues that I have ever wrestled at.
I went to a couple of those shows. What a great venue that is.
It was incredible. Nice. I reckon this was my first ever time at HQ. I could be wrong because this was a number of years ago. I reckon this was the first time RCW. It was definitely my first time. It was the second time at HQ. My first HQ. So that was incredible. Wrestling Toro. I've wrestled him a few times at this point. He's always been whatever you want to say about him. Being a bit of a prick, obviously associated with the family. He's always anytime I've ever been across the ring from him, he's always been on the kind of bad side where it's the whole crowd is just chanting for me to kick him in the head. I've always gotten good matches
Nice.
out of working in those. So
He's a-
for better or
he's a
for
good
worse,
wrestler.
I
He's a
know
good
if I
wrestler.
step into the ring with him,
Yeah.
I know that the fans are going to be happy.
Yeah. for
Like
sure.
at the end of the day, and that's all you can really ask for.
He's a good wrestler.
He's very Yeah,
He's a bit on the bad path with Nick Armstrong alone, but fans of the show would know. Tony Torre's been on here, and
you'll never not get a good match out of him. He's for better or for worse, whatever you want to say about him as a person. As a wrestler, if I see that I'm going to be wrestling against Tony Toro, I'm never going to be disappointed about that because I know at best case scenario, I'm going to kick the dude in the head multiple times and then
that's all you can ask for.
flip on top of him and then pin him and win. Worst case scenario, I'm going to get a good match out of it.
Exactly.
So,
well, that's all you can ask for, man. Next one here.
Whoa, jeez.
Fucking gun show.
yes.
Here we go.
Oh, that was
What's going on here?
oh, it's making me feel a little bit bad, honestly. No, that was definitely that was back at the RCW gym.
Yeah.
At the time, I was admittedly a little bit better with my sticking to my diets and all that sort of stuff, and I was on my heavy protein.
That's some big guns going on.
Yes, I was. Like guns are blazing, and I have my Flamita shirt on. This is a little bit after World Series Wrestling when Flamita and Bandito came down, and getting to watch a bunch of like some of the world's best indie masked wrestlers wrestle in front of like a massive crowd who just went absolutely ballistic for them.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Flamita's comic book style shirt. I'm a massive fan of like comic books just in general. So seeing the shirt design like that, I absolutely loved. And at the time, I don't know what was going on. I'm like
Might have to get one of those shirts. 94. That's my birthday.
Sometimes I get a good pump on and I still look like this. I don't know what it was a combination of. I don't think I must have just been like at the time I was on the very expensive protein powders at the time.
The roids.
If only, jeez.
Have you been seeing Matt Hayter, have you?
No, that is definitely my goal, which is
good for
to get back to that.
I was gonna say not look like Matt Hayter, hopefully.
Oh no.
Here we go, kicking another mask guy.
Ooh, oh, this is going back to the rude ones. Oh, I loved working them.
Rude ones, good guys.
Oh yeah.
To get them on the show, where are they?
I still, to this day, I will still say, I absolutely miss working the rude ones, especially Del Torino.
Yeah.
I would give anything to be able to get back into a ring with Del Torino.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. He really, I would say he was the first person to give me a match that, like I mentioned with Wrestling Royce, where I felt like it took me to that next level, showed me what I needed to do to get to that next level, and gave me something to work towards.
Yeah.
Del Torino was the first person that I worked where he was like, he was never gonna like kind of settle for good enough. He really like made me push myself, and like every time I was like, oh my, like just ready to just kind of give up. Just really like, it gave me the motivation to be like, no, I'm gonna keep fighting. And the rude ones just in general have been incredible in getting me kind of comfortable in that whole, how do you carry yourself wearing a mask?
Yeah.
How do you convey emotion?
Are you the reason they left? Have you forced them out? Because you're the only mask guy now.
Actually, it is funny that you mention that,
forced them out of the business. See you guys. Only one mask here, thanks.
It's really funny that you mention that because, God, for the life of me, I can't remember who, but some wrestling historian at some point actually clued me in when they were looking through the RCW history books. The Rude One's last ever match in RCW was against myself back when I was tagging with Jensen Hunt in Fists and Flips. So, technically, if you really want to get technical about it, Fists and Flips technically retired the Rude Ones from RCW. I mean, if they want to come back, I'd be more than happy to get in the ring with them again.
Don't give Jensen that credit.
Oh, I'd never give him any credit. Don't worry about
What's
that.
happening here, mate? Is this photo shoot or what?
So that is me in the middle of the Melbourne CBD.
Melbourne.
So, sorry, not Melbourne, Adelaide.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I'm in a different state. No, this is me in the Adelaide CBD, doing a bit of a photo shoot. I shot some videos on that day. We went down to one of the parks that was in the CBD. And just kind of shot some like little almost B-roll footage. Just wanted to have some footage of me doing flips, so I think there were a few videos that I had of me practicing my handspring backflips, flipping off of some park benches. Definitely got quite a few weird looks. Not only walking around in my mask, but the like the bright purple and gold tights with the kick pads. Definitely raised a few eyebrows.
Well, you don't see that. You see some weird shit in the city. It's
and then we happened to pass like this brick wall that was just over head height, and me being the person that I am, my first instinct when I see something like that is
climb that shit.
I bet I can jump that. I bet I can climb that. So we kind of scoped the area to make sure that it wasn't too busy, and kind of just jumped myself up onto this brick wall, and was like, this would make a nice backdrop for a photo.
It looks good.
And then got some editing done with a bit of a purple hue on it to really make the colours pop in my Riot City jumper.
Nice representing. I like
it. That was a really good day for a photo shoot. Like got really quality photos out of it.
With the weather in the background.
It was really good. With a nice crane in the background, like for whatever reason. There was just a crane. Buildings and a giant crane which was right behind us, but we were like, we'll just blur that out.
It is what it is. It looks good, man. It looks good. Here we go, flying through the air. Look at that.
Yes, this is another one of the photos that is one of my favourite. That I've had before, completely unintentional. I didn't realize that it would be. I didn't realize that would be as photogenic as it was. I tend to notice whenever I see the photos come out from shows where I've wrestled. I have a really hard time getting photos of myself because whether I'm wrestling in the ring or making my entrance, I'm so energetic and I'm always moving so fast that when the photographers try and get photos of me, they always come out blurry, the only shots are of me standing completely still, and I just look really awkward, and it never comes out good.
Is this the same match, or did you wrestle?
This is the same match with Tony Toro, yes.
You only wrestled him once, then?
I wrestled him once one-on-one, and then I had I want to say 5-way match. I think it was the following year's HQ with Katie Trey, James Cray, Toro, myself, and it may have just been just the four of us.
Okay,
but so technically wrestled Toro at 2 different HQs. But this photo, I didn't even realize that this was a thing that I did at the time. In my mind, it was just get on the corner to get a nice look at the crowd, jump into the ring. And then I saw this photo and I went, I might start doing that on purpose.
Cool.
Never really considered it, but that's sort of how that happens.
Do you time it to your music? I've seen
sometimes I do. It's risky because the amount of times I've completely missed the cue. Sometimes I'm up there, I'm like getting ready to jump, and then I've gone, I left it too late and I have to jump right down to my feet. And then sometimes I jump and I realize I'm going to be too early for the cue and I have to really and give myself a bit of hang time. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't.
I could never jump that fucking high off the top turn.
A lot of people see me do that and then they just go, your knees, how are your knees okay? And honestly, I've just never really had an issue with it.
Well, just keep doing it till you do. How do it?
Oh, jeez.
What's going on here?
What match was this? Oh my god.
That's some damage. That is some damage.
Oh, I'm going to have to get over analytical here because I actually can't remember which match this was.
Jesus.
This was either ACW against Ace Wilson or RCW against Grimm. And I reckon
both big choppers. So
definitely the two worst chops I've ever taken in my life. I'm almost certain this was RCW because these two, you can see two very clear outlines. One up,
big palm,
and then one on its side. And I remember like Grim is just so on point with his chops. Every time he hits you, you are getting hit in the exact same spot. There is none of this like first one is to here, next one is to here. It is always like first one is here, next one is almost exactly within the handprints of the first.
Yeah.
So like you're taking like it hurts twice as much the second time.
Things on the same spot.
And I think in that match, if I remember correctly, I took about 6 chops. Yeah.
Which
so
to a normal person is probably 12. Because Grim giving them is double.
It's on another level. Like I've taken shots, taken chops from like so many matches, and none of them compare to Grim.
No. I've seen them. They are brutal. This one here at AC Dub.
Yes. This is against Ace. Another one, like I mentioned before. One of the.
That's not Ace.
Sorry, not Ace. Oh god, Isaac Bailey. My bad. Sorry. Also,
Ace,
I will not. I mean, I won't discount either of their chops. I've wrestled both of them, Ace and Isaac. Both got incredible chops. But no, this was. I want to say maybe it was definitely either the first or second time I wrestled him at ACW. I think now I've wrestled him twice.
Nice.
I was scheduled to wrestle him a third time. And then he broke his leg, I believe, and now he's out for the foreseeable future. Really hoping that he, like, you can't, I'd never wish something like that on anyone. No. Like, the idea of being a wrestler, I would never wish someone's ability to do that. I would never wish that away from anybody.
He's got a good time to recover though with COVID.
Yeah.
So unfortunate accident, but good timing. He's got time to recover, no shows on and stuff like that.
Yeah. No matter like no matter what his motivation, if he's good, if he's bad, whatever. I'd never wish like a broken leg injury to retire a person on anyone. So I do hope that he can at least get that recovered. But this would have been the first or second time that I wrestled him at ACW. Nice. I believe, from memory, this was the match that I wrestled him twice, and I beat him twice.
Nice.
But on this occasion, when I beat him, I hit a 450 splash onto him, as I do.
What do you call that?
I just kind of... I do call it flipping the bird as a bit of an inside joke. I think I've heard Sean used to say that on commentary a few times, call it flipping him the bird. I came up with that one day backstage where I was kind of like, then I'll flip him the bird.
That's where the best things happen.
Yeah.
It's random shit.
Yeah, like officially I always just refer to it as the 450 splash, but I do like to, as a bit of a joke, just be like, oh yeah, flip him the bird. I basically hit the 450 on him, and I don't know what I've done differently to the hundreds of times I've hit a 450 before, because I was still like a year and a half at least into wrestling at this point. Hit the 450, and instead of, as I would logically do, like brace my hands in like fists, flip through and hit the mat, I've, for whatever reason, gone to hit the mat with open hands, which I don't, in hindsight, I never do. I don't know why. But I've gone to hit it with open hands, and look, he's a little bit larger of an opponent than like I usually wrestle. So hitting a 450 onto him didn't give me full forearms on the ground that I would usually get when I land on top of a person. It hoisted me that little bit higher. So with open hands, I've basically done a 450, like a 450 degree rotation, and my hands didn't hit the mat, my fingertips hit the mat, and basically my fingertips have made contact and just bent. So to this day, these like these two fingers still like every now and then just like really don't move right. Sometimes I'll just wake up and these two fingers would just be really painful, and I have to give them a really good like crack. And they just regularly would just crack worse than any of my other fingers because they just went so far back. Because if you can imagine, the G-force that you get, and just going, bap, and you just, boom.
Fuck that.
Like, the fingers aren't meant to bend that far back that quick. So that was very interesting about that match.
Yuck. Alright, we'll move on from that because that was yuck. Here we go.
Wrestling Hater. This was good fun. If you're not counting the Glenelg Street Party, this was my first official match against Matt Hader. This was at Estonian Hall.
ACW?
Yeah, for ACW. This is, I want to say, I reckon this was before he was ACW champ. This was right before he challenged for the belt. But no, I'd heard, like, coming from RCW, with Estonian Hall being their previous, big show kind of venue. I'd heard so many stories about the guys who have been around forever being like, oh, Estonian, it's incredible. So getting to wrestle here, this was my first ever time at Estonian Hall. So this was like incredible to be able to be like, now I can see like kind of where RCW came from.
Yeah, for sure.
And getting to wrestle for ACW on a big show. This was also like my first big show for ACW outside of their academy. And getting to wrestle Matt Hader of all people, he was and still is like one of the biggest like indie
ACW champion,
Adelaide,
previous RCW champion, just gone, PWSA champion.
Yeah, getting to kind of wrestle him in kind of that kind of face versus face dynamic where it is so much more like difficult wrestling in a face versus face kind of capacity because you're not kind of like, you don't have that automatic, people are going to cheer for me because I'm not a dickhead like this guy. Exactly, everyone is hot for Hader. Everyone is hot for Hader. I had to fight from the ground up to be like, please don't hate me because I'm not Matt Hader.
Fuck that.
But
I'll wrestle him.
I didn't win this match, but it was still it was an incredible opportunity to get to wrestle Matt Hader in front of such a massive crowd. So I had good fun.
Of that match?
Yes, that is us both throwing dual drop kicks at each other.
I was going to say, is that what you're doing, or have you kicked him? Because it looks, your feet are touching.
So this was at a point where it was some sort of running sequence. I remember, I reckon, if memory serves, I believe it was something along the lines of, I reckon Hader went to go hit me with a slam, and I flipped out of it to my feet, and then I think I went to go hit something on him, he moved, he went to go hit something on me, I moved, and then we both had the same idea turning around, and both went to give each other drop kicks at the same time, and we basically high-fived feet at that point. And then, you know, jump up to your feet, applause break. Like,
see, I just love this photo that you, perfect position, like you're graceful.
Facing the camera.
You're graceful, you've got the abs out, you're looking great. Hader just looks like he's fucking fell off the top rope and has no idea what he's doing right there.
Looks like one of those Olympic divers when they go to like take the big, they go for their second jump and then they slip their feet out.
He's just slipped off the top rope.
He's going ass first.
He's just crumpling in a pile of shit and you're just perfect position.
I can imagine his tailbone was probably pretty sore after that. I got to land nice and firmly, like safely on the ground.
Oh shit. Next one here.
Oh jeez. Yes. Oh my god. Oh god. I still remember how this felt, but for the life of me, I can't remember what match it was. I remember the pain more than I remember the match. Although
is this a key to the city or?
No, I don't reckon it was actually. What I think it was is the one and only time I've wrestled at PWSA. It was a 6-man TLC match for the Open Championship.
Okay.
And it's the only time the only time that I've wrestled at PWSA. No, like ill will to them. Just sort of like how it kind of happened. I got approached about the idea of coming in to do the ladder match, and then it just sort of like fizzled and like nothing ever really came of it. but yeah, this was to date the only like TLC match I've been in. I've been in the Key to the City ladder match before.
Yeah.
In RCW, but this was a match that had tables, ladders, and chairs.
Yeah, for sure.
And anything else you wanted to
Lots
bring
of
into the
weapons.
equation.
Anything goes.
But there was so much in that match that I endured from that match that I've never experienced in any other match. I took a power bomb through. At the time, all the tables in the match were broken. So this was Brandon Black had set up 4 steel folding chairs facing inwards. Basically set up 4 with the seats facing inwards with the backs out, and gave me a power bomb onto the chairs in place of a table. I don't know how much you know about folding chairs, but they don't like that.
Yeah, the one you're sitting on. I don't even want to go through that.
So that was horrible. But in that match, I also got slammed onto a steel chair on the ground. I got hit in the face with a steel chair. Never been hit in the face with a steel chair other than that.
Well, you don't want to be. So.
No, you definitely don't. And I mean, I'll take what I can take. In that match, I hit a 450 through a table, which since I got into wrestling has always been on my bucket list. To hit like a 450 through a table.
That looks cool. Through a table, that'd be pretty cool.
I don't know what was going on with it. I had to actually watch the match back because I was very confused. It was more of circumstance. I climbed to the top rope and went, guy on a table, 450. I had to go back and watch the match back because I knew the table looked a bit funky when I did it, and I went back and watched the footage. Turns out the leg had broken off the table. One of the legs. One of the legs was still fine. The other one snapped off when they tried setting up the table. And for whatever reason, whoever set up the table has basically kicked out one leg. One leg is broken off, and they've gone, I'm still going to set up this table, but how can I set it up with only one leg? I'll just get a steel chair and I'll prop it under the table and use that as the second leg of the table.
It's probably Brandon Black.
A steel chair isn't the same height, and not the back of it, the seat of it.
Oh, the seat of it.
The seat of the steel chair. Yeah, it was on like a diagonal angle. Like it was not at all straight.
What the hell?
So when I've gotten up to the top, I've gone, why does this guy look like he's dangling upside down? His head is all the way down, and his legs are all the way up here, upside down. So I've just gone, whatever. I want this belt, and if that means taking this guy out. Only TLC match I've been in. And it was a great opportunity.
For sure. Got the damage.
Yeah, definitely got the bruises. You can almost see like every one of the chops, chair shots, every bit of cut that I got. Like, it was full on.
Yuck. Next one here. You with a ponytail.
Yes, I love this. This was after the Fringe. Getting to wrestle at the Fringe was incredible. I've lived in like South Australia all my life, so I've always every year hear about the Fringe.
Adelaide Fringe.
And like getting to actually be a part of the Fringe, I never thought would be a thing that I'd ever get to do. Just so happens to coincide with the Fringe coming up. My longtime tag partner, Jetson Hunt, decided to be an absolute prick. Coming back to the Key to the City match that I was in, he basically took on the role as general manager, came out and hit me with a ladder, hit me with a chair, screwed me out of that match, and turned his back on me. So that led to a hair versus mask match at the Adelaide Fringe. That one, I came out victorious. I cut his hair off, took it out the back, and I sort of like was just looking at it going like, I need to do something with this. So I think I just took the closest person to me, and I just went, can you take a photo for me real quick? And I just went like, and I just started like kind of almost brushing it aside, like going like, I don't know, I think I look good with a ponytail. What do you think? Like, I think I can kind of rock this. And then I got this photo just outside the Adelaide Fringe. Oh, that was a great time.
Dude, that's so good.
It was so hot though. It was so hot.
Yeah,
that Fringe day.
It's warm out there. Next one, bit of merch.
Oh yes,
Bit of merch.
yes.
You're rocking one now.
Yes, I am. This is the Kit Condor second shirt that I got made. Oh, with the nice big logo on the back.
There you go. So all the links will be in the description, guys, for the merch. But so we got the good look of them here.
Yeah. So I've got my one that I'm wearing now, the double-sided condor skull.
Yeah.
With the almost like tattered and torn mask with the skull underneath.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this design so much.
Do you want to shout out your designer? Or?
Yes, so this was Sketchy Girl Art on Instagram. Has some amazing stuff. She actually designed both of the shirts that I have here.
Yeah.
Does some great stuff. She's actually done a couple of designs, just like general drawings of some of like my photos that I've got from wrestling in the past.
Nice.
So the second one is my Kit Condor versus the World shirt, which is like a spoof of the first issue of the original like comic manga of Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Nice.
Which I absolutely love. It is my favorite movie of all time. I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World so much, and the original first image cover of the first book, I just thought looked like an amazing design. I kind of went to her and went, is there some way that you could like put me in the spot of Scott Pilgrim and make it almost look like a comic book cover, and I'll put that on a shirt? And I was really happy with how that came out.
Nice, dude. So yeah, all the links for Kit's merch will be in the description. I might even chuck in the link for Sketch Girl Art as well. So any aspiring wrestlers or people who just want some designs for t-shirts, pictures, hit her up and you'll be able to get some awesome pictures. This will be our last photo here.
Oh yeah, this was
you and the lads.
Yeah, this was really good fun.
Rocking some Havoc merch, which is a bit controversial now.
Myself, Scotty Hartman in what was this? His second match, I reckon.
Yeah.
And Havoc, pre wearing the big belt. We kind of we had a lot of fun that day. We kind of got around each other, kind of got in each other's minds. We really wanted to just go out there and have a good time.
I hope you
kick some ass.
I hope you weren't the reason. You didn't get in Havoc's head and tell him to go
no,
catch a key or anything, did you? Or
I was probably I was very, very shocked. One of the most shocked when that sort of happened. We had this match here at the Riot City Academy. We were joking around all day. We were like, hey, and I said to Havoc, like, I'll give you a bit of cash. Give me one of your shirts. I like that design. It's got purple on it. Kind of a fan of purple myself. I got one of my shirts. Take this. And I gave him one of my shirts. He gave me one of his. And I was like, what if we just go out wearing each other's shirts? But let's just not draw attention to it. Let's just kind of go out and be like, oh, what? So that was, good fun. And then we ended up having a second 6-man tag with the same team of me, Havoc and Scotty, and at the Arkabar, and again, like it was an amazing time. Later on that night, I'm sitting backstage watching the show, just having a good time of it, and I was like, I'm sorry, what's happening?
Who's this guy?
So that was definitely something I wasn't expecting. I mean, another guy who's definitely like going places. Like he's been around forever, obviously, but like
he's just in.
I'm so shocked it took him this long.
Condition.
I'm so surprised it took him this long with the skill set that he has. Like, I wouldn't have blamed him. Like, but he has the key.
Well, it's right to unlock it.
Absolutely. You would never blame a person for having an opportunity like that and using it.
And he's
don't know why he had to go back to using Rosenthal.
That was a bit weird. But
I haven't spoken to him since, but
he's in a little limelight of his career, so he's
yeah.
he's going good.
I guess I can't speak for him. Each to their own.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in his head. If he's just at that point where he's willing to do whatever it takes to get wherever he wants to go.
Yeah, well.
But either way, I had so much fun working with those two. I'd really like to, obviously Havoc's got bigger and better things to move on to now, but even like Hartman, I'd love to keep working with him in the future. I really hope.
Take him under your wing, no fun there.
Yeah.
Show him the ropes and get him in there. I like him. He's got.
Need to teach him to do a few more flips, though. I think that needs a bit to be designed.
He's got some potential, so definitely you could sort him out with that.
But no, it's good fun. Like kind of getting to work with them and just kind of go in there, kick some ass. Leave it to the other guys to go in there and kick some ass. We'll have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And, and I did. I had so much fun working with them.
Nice.
Like, getting to work with someone who has a little bit less experience with me, as well as getting to work with someone older than me, you really get to see kind of both sides of the coin.
Yeah, for sure.
And it really does, lets you have a bit of fun, but also lets you learn a thing or two about, how do you mesh with someone who doesn't have as much wrestling experience as you, while at the same time meshing with someone who has more experience than you? How can you learn from... you don't have to have less experience than someone to learn from them.
Yeah,
you can learn by working with someone who has less experience than you.
Yeah,
there are just different things to learn and to take away from that experience.
Yeah,
I think I did because it was a lot of fun.
Nice, man, nice. All right, so that brings us to the end of the photos. Thank you very much for that, dude. There was some awesome insight into those. It was good fun.
I've never, of all the photos that I have from my wrestling career so far, I've never really done any sort of a retrospective on them.
Yeah,
it's sort of I see a photo, I like how it looks, and it's sort of just isolated like that.
Yeah,
so getting to really be let's break down why I like this photo is actually a whole lot of fun. I've never had an opportunity to do that before.
No, it was good, man. I really appreciate that. And I hope the fans of the show can really get insight into Kit and see what he's been doing, and hopefully get on board, follow him, and go from there. So, Kit. Awesome to look at those photos, man. To hear
absolutely.
about the stories from your career. Before we wrap things up, I'd love for you to plug social media, merch, all that sort of stuff. The links will be in the description, guys. But plug away. Let everyone know where they can find you.
I like to keep it nice and simple. So I should be Kit Condor, Kit with a K, Condor with a C, on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wrestler merch, also at Kit Condor. If you're ever not sure if I'm somewhere, just search Kit Condor. There's not a whole lot of other people running around with a name like mine, so you're probably
if you see the mask, you'll know exactly who it is.
Yes.
Hit like and subscribe on all those guys. The links will be in the description, like I said. But awesome, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Really appreciate it, and hopefully when the world gets a little bit better, or especially Australia gets a little bit better, the different states, you'll be able to go interstate, start wrestling in there, and also obviously get back into it here in Adelaide. Now we've just come out of our lockdown as of recording this for a couple of days out, which is great. So hopefully, the other states clear up. You'll get your name around there, dude. We'll start seeing you flipping on the stages of MC Dub and PC Dub and all those sort of stuff, dude. But to just thank you for being on the show.
Another one.
One more shot for the road.
Yep.
He's got an Uber, guys. He's not driving. Don't worry. Like we always say, be safe. And like we say, tell my Drew if you want to sponsor me. I buy the big bottles. I get the good stuff. It just brings me back, travelling from Bali, going through the duty free. Oh, Bali, hope you get better too.
Get back there.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Woo, awesome.
Oh, that is smooth. Jeez.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for joining us. Fuck this shit. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Beers and Brawls. Another big thank you to our guest, Kit Condor. Awesome to have him on the show, hear about his journey, where he's up to, and the things that he's got planned for the future. Like, subscribe to the show, guys. Support me, support all the local wrestlers. For the ones that are doing it tough in Melbourne, New South Wales, that sort of stuff, you can't get the shows right now, but buy their merch, help them out, support them. things will get better soon. You know, it won't be long. Everyone will be back in the shows. Everyone will be killing it. People like Kit will be travelling all over Australia, dominating those shows. And we'll see people like Royce and all those back here in Adelaide. So, thank you for watching, guys. Cheers.